Hi, folks. Welcome back. This is your NFL picks for Week 6. Again, these are straight-up picks for entertainment purposes only, and no gambling involved whatsoever. We don't do against the spread because that's just a nightmare, and no one makes money that way anyway. Not that we're gambling, because we're not gambling. So let's get right into it. Last week we went 9-5 among the 14 games that were played last week. Off to a very slow start, but we ended up rallying late. Straight up, we went 9-5. So that's impressive to me. Anytime I can go over 500. And let's jump right into tonight's action. We got Denver, the Broncos of Denver at the Chiefs of KC. This one is definitely going to be KC. No problem whatsoever. The line's 10.5. I really think that KC will cover that line. Total over-under is 47. So I think that they'll definitely probably, there's a good chance it'll get up over 47. So, but of course, we're not gambling, just doing this for fun anyway. Sunday, the early game in London town brings us the Ravens of Baltimore versus the Biggies of Tennessee. The Titans are actually the home team here, but the Ravens actually have been there since Monday. They flew out right after their loss against Pittsburgh last week, and have been there since Monday preparing for this. Baltimore's favored by 4. I'm going to take Baltimore here. I think Baltimore's going to be the more prepared team based upon the fact that they've got there on Monday and have acclimated, and they're going to be used to the early start time for the body at that time. And then we jump into the 1 p.m. games Eastern here on Sunday. We have Washington. The Washingtons at the Atlanta Falcons. The Washingtons are a 2.5-point underdog here. I'm going to take Atlanta at home, and I'm actually going to take them with the points. That Young Wei Koo effect, where he comes out just like he did last week and kicks the game winner at the end of the game. I think that that's what's going to end up happening here. Over under 42.5, so not a very high scoring game. Probably going to be very tight. Minnesota at Chicago. I would definitely take Minnesota here. Chicago's a wreck, and last time I went against Chicago, I ended up hating myself for it, but that's okay. That's what this is all about. It's for fun. So yeah, Minnesota's gonna rebound here against Chicago after their loss against the Chiefs last week at home. The Seahawks of Seattle are at the Kitties, the Bengal Tigers of Cincinnati. Cincinnati seems to be turning its boat around here with a 2-3 record. I like Cincinnati at home with the 2.5 favorite. I'm still going to take Cincy with those points, and definitely bet that, or not bet, but intuit that Cincinnati will come out ahead. The 49ers of San Francisco at the Browns of Cleveland. The Brownies are 8.5-point home dogs here. And the line, the over-under line is 37. So they're expecting a very low-scoring game here. I do think San Fran will win. 8.5 could be questionable based upon their guessing the 37 total points. But I think that San Fran will pull it off and come out ahead in that one. Carolina at Miami. Definitely Miami here. They've got too many weapons. Carolina's winless. They haven't picked up a W all year, so no dubs for the Panthers, and certainly won't be one this Sunday either. Indy at Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville at home in this series, this divisional rivalry. Jacksonville's favored by 4. I could see this one being a 3-point win for Jacksonville, but over-under is 44.5, but I will take Jacksonville on this one. And then you've got New Orleans at Houston. This is an interesting pick. I like New Orleans on the road. I think Derek Carr was a great pickup for them. Houston, however, has been surprising everyone, and they almost pulled off the win in Atlanta last week. So over-under here at 42.5, and New Orleans is favored by 1.5. I'm going to go with Houston here, and I'm going to call the upset because I think that the home crowd is going to be really excited and surprised by the fact that the Texans of Houston are actually doing halfway decent this year. So I'm going to go with Houston in this one. And in the late games, we got New England at Vegas. The Vegas Raiders are 2.5-point favorites here in this one. Over under 41.5. Not a whole lot of scoring predicted for this one. I'm going to take Vegas, the home team here, to prevail over Bill Belichick, who will still be chasing that elusive 347th win to tie Don Shula for the all-time coaching wins record. And then the Rams of Los Angeles are hosting the Cardinals of Arizona. Rams are favored by 7 in this one. I think that's kind of a fat line, but I do like Cooper Kupp and that offense, the Rams offense against Arizona at home, I think that the Rams will prevail. I just don't know about that point spread with being 7. Lions 48.5, the over under. So it could be a high scoring game depending upon what Arizona does. But I do think that the Rams will definitely score some points. Just 7 seems a little hard to swallow. And then you got Philadelphia Eagles at the at the New York Jets. I like Philadelphia here. Philadelphia's 5-0. They're going to go 6-0 here. The Jets just don't have the firepower to keep up with them. The over/under here is 41, and Eagles are favored by 7, so they're not expecting a whole lot of scoring in this one. And the scoring they are expecting is supposed to come from the visitors' sideline. So definitely going to take Philadelphia here. Tampa Bay hosting the Lions of Detroit. This is a toughie. Tampa Bay's at home, but Detroit is the favorite here, 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with Detroit here. I like Dan Campbell. I like what he's done there. I like how he takes risks. The team gets behind him. They love him. He's obviously an inspired leader. I like the Tampa Bay at home here to upset the. Detroit. I like Detroit here to upset. Not upset, but come out ahead against Tampa Bay because Detroit is favored by 3.5. I think this is probably a field goal win for them though, so 3.5 might be a little fat. And then Sunday night you've got the Giants of New York at the Bills of Buffalo. Buffalo is reeling from that disastrous loss last week in London to the Jacksonville Kitties, and they're 14.5-point favorites here against the Biggies from New York. I definitely like the Bills. I don't know about 14.5, but it's Monday night, it's the big stage, and the Giants are just awful, as we saw last week against Miami. They just can't do much of anything. So I'm definitely going to take Buffalo here. The points, that's a college football over under. So I'm sorry, over under. That's the college football line of 14.5 as a favorite. So I would shy away from that line, but definitely take Buffalo as the favorite. And then Monday night, you've got Dallas, the Cowboys of Dallas, who just got demolished against the 49ers of San Francisco last week. They're in California again this week to face off against the Chargers of Los Angeles. Total over-under here is 51. They're expecting some scoring here, and the Cowboys are actually favored by 2. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go for the upset here and say that the Chargers will prevail against the Cowboys because I don't think that the Cowboys will be able to overcome the Chargers and their offensive weapons. So again, this is all purely for entertainment purposes only. And your bye week has the Packers of Green Bay and the Steelers of Pittsburgh both enjoying a week off. So we will see you again next week, and stay safe out there.